I put together a poster a few years ago on the ages the richest in the world made their fortunes. It was a fun little motivational project, but it got me thinking, how long does it take to get rich? Now, if you're like me, your jump shot sucks and you've got no secret recipe for 11 herbs and spices. So you've got to get rich the hard way through investing or by starting a business. In this video, I'll count down 10 millionaire strategies, 10 ways to become a millionaire. I'll reveal the annual return on each, how to get started, and how long it takes to get rich. We're talking ways to get rich today on Let's Talk Money. Hey Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue with the Let's Talk Money channel, and it's right about this time in the video that I usually send that special shout out to all you out there in the nation, but today I want to show you how much I appreciate your time. If you'd like a free download copy of that motivational poster, a timeline of how and when the world's richest made their money, I'll leave a link in the video description below. Click through and get started on your financial future. If you're not part of that community yet, just click that little red subscribe button. It's free and you'll never miss an episode. I'll be counting down our list from the easiest millionaire ideas to the ones that pay off the fastest, including investments and business ideas. We'll look at how to get started and use the returns on each to estimate how long it takes to get rich. Our first millionaire strategy, lottery tickets. Okay, hold up. No, I am not saying that lottery tickets are a legit path to millions. In fact, just the opposite. But I feel like so many people believe you can get rich playing the lottery. About half the population buys a ticket regularly and spends an average $1,000 a year. In fact, your chances of getting mauled by a bear are higher than winning the lottery. So I wanted to start by revealing how much a ticket is actually worth, why it's not some get-rich-quick strategy, or before we cover those legit millionaire ideas. And for the math nerds like myself, you can actually calculate the value of a lottery ticket depending on the jackpot. Analysis by Charles Rotblut found the investment value of a $2 ticket does come out positive, but not until a jackpot reaches $530 million for the Mega Millions and $490 for the Powerball. Until then, you're losing money because the odds are so far against you. Adding up the value of each prize and the probability of hitting that many numbers, you can find out how much a ticket is worth given a jackpot amount. And the jackpot is really the biggest factor though, with all the other Mega Millions prizes combined only adding about 25 cents to the value of the ticket. Nation, my mom was the queen of bingo, and given the choice between Vegas and the Garden of Eden, I bet you'd know where I'd go. But it has to be for fun because you will never get rich by gambling or playing the lottery. We're getting to our list of legit ways to get rich, but I want to get your feedback on this as well. Now, the first 6 ideas are going to be through investments, easy and completely passive strategies, but a little longer to get rich. The last 3 then are going to be business ideas, more work but higher returns and a faster way to that 7-figure payday. Now I'll start you out on this video, but let me know in the comments below which would you rather hear more about in future videos, those passive investment ideas or the business ideas to get rich faster. Our first legit way to make money is through high yield interest on stablecoins, and while this is the lowest return of the group, it's also the lowest risk, so I wanted to highlight it as that low risk, high return option. There is a huge demand for lending cryptocurrency and stablecoins right now, so platforms like BlockFi are paying interest rates up to 8.5% on accounts. It's a lot like what a traditional bank does with your savings, paying you interest on that money and then loans it out on mortgages, except the rate BlockFi is paying out right now is more than 100 times that average 0.06% rate you get from the bank. And now you don't even have to be a believer in cryptocurrencies to use this strategy. These are the rates that BlockFi pays on different tokens, and you'll see the stable coins like USDC are paying the highest rates. Stablecoins are backed by assets like commercial paper and money market funds to hold their value to the US dollar, and you can see here in this price chart, it stays almost exactly at that $1 each. I earn just over $25 a day, or about $750 a month from this source alone, and that's interest on my stablecoins as well as my investments in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, even at that 8.5% interest rate and investing $1,000 a month, it would still take 26 years to reach that millionaire status. So I think you try some of these other investments that we'll talk about, but this is a great way to earn as much on your savings as possible. Now, I've recently started working with BlockFi on a series of videos after transferring my money from Coinbase. I use the platform for crypto and stablecoins and recently started using their Bitcoin rewards card as well. I'll leave a link to BlockFi in the description below. Check that out and get up to $250 in free Bitcoin when you open an account. This next millionaire investment, real estate investing, holds a special place for me because it's where I got my start as a commercial property analyst, and while I transitioned to venture capital and stock analysis pretty quickly, the fact has always been no other asset class has created as much family wealth as property. I'll show you a couple of ways to get started next, but going off the 9.1% long-term annual return on the Vanguard Real Estate ETF, that's ticker VNQ, and investing $1,000 a month, it would take about 25 years to reach that $1 million portfolio. So shaving a year off our timeline, and stick around because the last investment idea here I'm going to share is going to do it in less than 10 years. Now, investing in that REIT fund is the easiest way to get started, but you can make upwards of 12 to 20% on other forms of property investment like crowdfunding and rentals. I own rental properties and invest in the income fund on Fundrise, which is a great way to get a little higher return, but still that easy, hands-off strategy of a fund. And the tax benefits of real estate investing are some of the best you'll find, which is why even if it's not your main wealth-building strategy, everyone should have some direct property exposure. To get started, focus on a portfolio of 2 or 3 real estate stocks like that Vanguard fund and maybe the Stag Industrial, ticker STAG, and Medical Properties Trust, ticker MPW, 2 of my favorite REITs. Once you feel like you want to expand your real estate empire from there, I would start by buying a single family house or a duplex as a rental. And you can get a HUD loan with less than 5% down, but putting 20% down is going to save you from paying the PMI insurance every month. Most important here, though, is just to start slow with just one property. Don't feel like you have to create your 7-figure cash flow overnight. And give your rental 1 year to better understand how much time it really takes to manage these before you even start thinking about buying another property. 3 millionaire strategies down, 7 left, and now easily the most popular topic on the channel, dividend investing. Dividends have accounted for almost half the stock market return over the past century, and it's always a positive cash return, even when stocks sink. If you're not investing in dividend stocks, you could be setting yourself up for when the stock market wobbles. Even though growth stocks, which we'll look at later, have outperformed over the last few years, dividend stocks are just going to be less volatile, especially during a recession. On that 15% annualized return to dividend stocks in the Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF, that's ticker VIG, and investing $1,000 a month, you drop the time it takes to become a millionaire down to just 18 years. We've got some great dividend videos on the channel, but the most important factors here to watch are the payout ratio. Now that's the percentage of a company's earnings used to pay that dividend, and a great measure of safety in that payment. You can also check Yahoo Finance under the historical data tab to make sure the company has a history of increasing that dividend. Finally here, don't invest on the basis of a high dividend yield alone. Check the total return on a stock, that price, and the dividend return so you don't fall into that trap of a high yield but falling share price. If you want your dividend stocks to pay your rent, I recently highlighted my 5 favorite monthly dividend stocks, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. 5th on our list of millionaire strategies, penny stocks, and here we're getting into those real growth investments. Now I'm going to be using the iShares Microcap ETF, that's ticker IWC, a fund holding the 1,000 smallest companies in the Russell 3000 Index as a proxy here for those penny stocks. It's got a 16% annualized return, and a $1,000 monthly investment would make you a millionaire in just 17 years. But the real power in that penny stock investing comes from finding those individual companies under $500 million market cap that are ready to run. We've got a 64% average return on the penny stocks recommended on the channel, with 9 that have more than doubled over the last year, and 1 up more than 500%. But now looking at that penny stock list, and the fact that 4 and 10 have gone lower brings up an important idea to your investing strategy. Nation, too many investors just want to trade in and out of penny stocks, selling after a quick profit of 40 or even 50%. The problem is investors tend to sell those winners too fast to book that quick return, but then hold on to the losers. It saps their total return and the portfolio goes nowhere. Instead, when you're investing in penny stocks, I want you to think like a venture capitalist. In the VC world, where I worked for 5 years, you're finding those startups with triple-digit growth and holding on until they get acquired or issue shares in the market. You might be locked into those shares for 3 or 5 years or more, but the reward can be 10 times your investment and even higher. So in penny stocks, this means building a portfolio of at least 5 to 10 stocks, small startup companies that could be big someday. Then you're going to give these stocks at least 3 to 5 years, holding them no matter what. And yes, you could see as many as half of these stocks go nowhere or even lower over that period, but by holding those winners and giving them the time to grow into those 10x returns, your overall portfolio return is going to be in that 20 to 30% range on an annualized basis. I use the paper portfolio on Webull to track my penny stocks before investing real money. Check it out. Use the link in the description and you'll get 2 free shares worth up to $1,000 each when you start investing. This next millionaire investment, growth stocks, has produced the highest stock return over the last 5 years. I'll use the Invesco QQQ Trust, a fund that invests in the 100 largest non-financial companies on the NASDAQ exchange, as a proxy. And you can see the fund's 21% annualized return would cut the time it takes to reach a millionaire down to just 15 years. Of course, like with those penny stocks, the real return here is in picking those individual companies for the gains like the 67% return on the shares of Intellia Therapeutics in the 6 months since recommending it on the channel. Or Tellurian, originally a penny stock pick last year, now up 344%. But finding those growth stocks, you can't use those traditional stock measures like the price to earnings ratio because that growth is just so expensive. Instead, use the price to earnings to growth ratio, which adjusts the PE by the company's earnings growth rate. Now that gives you a better measure for the stocks that may be expensive but are growing into that valuation. And here you're also looking for companies with a huge addressable market of at least 10 billion or more and an advantage that can take market share from its competitors. You can usually find an estimate of the addressable market size through the company's investor presentations, but an idea of competitive advantage is going to come down to really just comparing companies in that industry. Our last millionaire investment before those business ideas, and you just cannot avoid cryptocurrency if you want to create that $1 million portfolio. Bitcoin is up 118% annualized over the last 5 years, and up 340% in the last year alone. Now, I don't want to imply that you can make 100% on your money every year over the next 5 or 10 years, but this is a new asset class. It's not going away, and there is no doubt in my mind this is going to beat stocks for returns. Even on a very modest 38% annual return, that would get Bitcoin to my $240,000 price target over the next 5 years. That turns a $1,000 monthly investment into a $1 million portfolio in just 10 years. We've got a lot of crypto videos on the channel, including their true value and how to invest, but I want to just help you get started here. It takes less than 5 minutes to open an account on BlockFi with just a phone number and your email address. You'll want to set up two-factor authentication to keep your account secure. And you can buy crypto in any amount, and I recommend buying some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe a few of the smaller altcoins in your portfolio as well. I recently shared the 5 cryptocurrencies I'm buying and my own $400,000 portfolio in a video, as well as how much you need to buy to become a millionaire, so look for that link in the description. Be sure to let me know in the comments which you prefer, but I love these next 3 business ideas because they're such a great complement to those investing strategies. These 3 income strategies are going to cash flow fast for more money to invest and that faster path to your millionaire status. And honestly, nation, I love talking about investing, but if you ever want to get rich, it has to start with creating those assets and the cash flow. Check out the survey of 2,500 millionaires by Scorpio Partnership and BNP Wealth Management. Now, this shows the percentage of total wealth millionaires hold in each asset class, from stocks to bonds, alternative investments, and their own business. And this shows, on average, millionaires have more than a quarter of their wealth in their own business, over 25% versus just 17% held in stocks. The rich aren't waiting for other companies to make them rich. They are creating the income through that business to drive that wealth. Now, this first business idea is where it all started for me, with blogging and affiliate websites. I started my first websites ages ago, all the way back in 2013, even as everyone was saying that blogging was dead. By the end of that first year, though, I was averaging almost $800 a month, an income that would grow to almost $3,000 a month over the next year, and over $5,000 a month within the first 3 years, making over $108,000 over that period. And this is all before I started on YouTube. In fact, I didn't even start making money on YouTube until late 2018. Now, by that time, the blog income had grown to over $7,000 a month on average, with 1 month over $10,000. So even if you were only to do this maybe 10 hours a week, basically a hobby blog, you can grow to several $1,000s a month within that first few years. That's better than $1 million portfolio because it's cash flow that you can count on every single month. Now, I can't tell you how to start a blog in less than a few minutes, but I can help you get started. First is just to pick a topic that you like talking about, a hobby or an interest, and really anything works here. For ideas, you can search Google for that interest or that hobby to see what other people are blogging about. Plan on posting once or maybe twice a week. Just write out an article on the subject and start connecting with others interested in that topic. Next, and this is how you're going to start making money, you build in things like selling printable checklists, self-publishing, or talking about products. This idea of using those multiple income streams is hugely important, especially for new bloggers. And one idea or stream might not make that much to start, but put 2 or 3 together and you've got a solid income. Now, I've got a free checklist to get you started that I'll link to below. Now here, you'd think I was holding out on you if I didn't talk about YouTube as a millionaire strategy. On just the ads alone, not including sponsorships, I've made over $216,000 in the last year, with one day making over $1,500 in a single day. And while this is a business that grows faster the more you work it, videos can make money years after you publish. Now, this video, published nearly a year ago, is still making $26 a day in the ads alone. I'll share a link in the description below to a free webinar with my top 3 tips for getting started, but the biggest hurdle I see in new YouTubers is they want those first videos to be perfect. They shoot a few videos, try to edit them, and are never happy with what they see, and really never get the channel started. That's why I always recommend just plan out 5 videos, outline what you want to say, turn on your camera or your phone, and just talk through them. Don't stop for mistakes, ums or ahs, just shoot all the way through each video. Now then, don't even worry about editing for those first 5 videos. Just get them uploaded to YouTube and make a commitment to do 1 new video each and every week. Because Nation, the truth is, none of your videos will ever be perfect. Not the first, not the 100th, or the 1000th. I've uploaded over 700 videos in 4 years, and I still look back as recently as maybe the last 6 months and I'm kind of embarrassed at how bad they were. But that is how you know you're learning, getting better and making better videos. Do not wait until you learn everything you need to get started, because you'll never get started. This next $1 million idea, a lot of you are going to be skeptical about, but it can get you to that 7 figures in as little as 5 years. I'm talking self-publishing your own books, and just look at the cash flow in this. I've made over $124,000 on my books, with some months as high as $4,000 in sales. It's a big part of my monthly income and totally passive. Now, of course, there is a learning curve here, but just get started and you can easily publish 3 or 4 books a year, averaging a few hundred monthly on each. Now, that means realistically creating an income stream of $3,000 to $5,000 within 5 years. And that's equivalent to a $1.2 million portfolio on the standard 4% withdrawal. And this is a lot easier than you might imagine. I'll link to a complete video in the description, but this process is going to get you started. For a nonfiction book, start with what you want people to be able to do or learn, then break it down into 10 or 15 tasks, working backwards to that goal. Then each one of those is going to be a chapter in your book. So within each of those chapters, you break it down into a few tasks and instructions in each. Then you focus on 1 chapter a week. Don't try to sit down and just write a book. Just do 1 chapter at a time. I'll link to some detailed videos in the description below to show you exactly how to get started and create that cash flow. Click on the video to the right to see how to get rich investing just $1 a day, how to invest as little as $1 and the 5 stocks to buy right now. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.